Good day everyone and welcome to this video. So let me introduce myself first. I am Tracian De La Cruz, and today we will explore how the CPU works. The evolution of the CPU from part 1 or generation 1 to generation 4, and also I'll give you an overview of the GPU, SAP 1 operations, and SAP 1 programming. So yeah, let's begin with the CPU. The CPU, or Central Processing Unit, is known as the brain of the computer. Just like how the human brain controls thinking and actions, the CPU controls everything a computer does. Every time you type on a keyboard, open an application, watch a video, or even playing a game, the CPU is working to process instructions. So, without the CPU, a computer would not be able to think, calculate, or function. The CPU is made up of three main parts. So, the first part is the control unit. In this part, it acts like a manager or supervisor. It tells other parts of the computer what to do and in what order. Then the second part is the arithmetic logic unit, or what we call the ALU. This is where calculations and logical decisions happen, such as adding numbers or checking if one value is bigger than another. Then the third part, or the third one, is called registers. So registers are very small but extremely fast memory spaces inside the CPU, and they temporarily store data so the CPU can access it quickly. To understand how the CPU works, we need to learn the fetch, decode, and execute cycle. So first one is the CPU fetches an instruction from the memory, then it decodes the instruction to understand what needs to be done, and then it executes the instruction by performing the task. Then finally, it stores the result, and thus the process happens billions of times per second, which is why computers feel fast and responsive. Um, for example, if you calculate 5 plus 3, the CPU first fetches the numbers, decodes the instruction to add them, and then executes the addition and stores the result, which is equivalent to 8. So this same process happens when you open apps, browse the internet, or run programs. It only on a much larger and faster scale. Now that we understand how the CPU works, let's look at how CPUs have evolved over the time. So this comes with the part 1 to part 4, or the generations of the CPU. So the first generation of CPU developed in the 1940s and 1950s. So they used vacuum tubes these computers were extremely large. Some were as big as entire rooms. They consumed huge amount of electricity, produced a lot of heat, and were very slow compared to modern computers. A famous example is the ENIAC, one of the first electronic computers. This example helps students realize how far technology has advanced. Then the second one, or the second generation, developed in the 1950s and 1960s, replaced vacuum tubes with transistors. So the transistors were smaller, faster, and more energy efficient. This made computers smaller, more reliable, and easier to maintain. Then a well-known example is the IBM 7090, which shows how computers began to become more practical for real-world use. Then the third generation in the late 1960s and 1970s, so it introduced integrated circuits, or the ICs. This technology allowed many transistors to fit on a single chip. Computers became even smaller, cheaper, faster, and more powerful. A strong example here in the third generation is the IBM System 360, which helped make computers more accessible to businesses and institutions. Then the fourth generation, which came from 1970s up until now, so introduces microprocessors, meaning the entire CPU fits on a single chip. This innovation made personal computers, laptops, smartphones possible. Example na lang is include Intel Core processors, the AMD Ryzen, and the Apple M1 chips. So these examples help students connect CPU history to the modern devices they use every day. So overall, CPU evolution shows how technology improved in speed, size, efficiency, affordability, and power. Now, let's talk about the GPU. The GPU, or commonly known as Graphics Processing Unit, is responsible for processing visual content such as images, videos, animations, and 3D graphics. While the CPU handles general decision making, the GPU specializes in doing many small tasks at the same time. This ability is called parallel processing, and it allows GPUs to handle graphics smoothly and quickly. Uh, for example, when playing a video game, the CPU manages the game rules and player actions, while the GPU renders characters, environments, lighting, and animations. Another example is the video editing, where the GPU helps process effects and transitions faster. So the GPUs are also used in artificial intelligence, machine learning, and scientific simulations, making them powerful beyond just gaming. A helpful way to understand the difference is this. So the CPU is like one very smart worker doing many different jobs, while the GPU is like a large team of workers doing many small jobs at the same time. So next one will be the SAP 1 operations. The SAP 1, or simple as possible computer 1, is a basic educational computer model designed to help students learn how computers process instructions. SAP 1 includes key components such as memory, registers, a program counter, an ALU, and a control unit. Even though it is simple, it works in a similar way to real computers. So SAP 1 follows fetch, decode, and execute cycle, just like the modern CPUs. So this makes it great learning tool for understanding how instructions move through a computer system. SAP 1 can perform several simple operations, like the LDA instruction loads data into memory, the add instruction adds numbers, the sub instruction that subtracts numbers, the out instruction which displays results, and the HLT instruction that stops the program. So for example, if SAP 1 receives the command add 5, it adds the number 5 to the value stored in its accumulator. Then it will help students visualize how instruction affect stored data. Then let's now explore the SAP 1 programming, which means writing simple machine instructions that tell the computer exactly what to do. It is a basic program might load a number, add another number, display the result, and then stop. For example, if the memory stores the numbers 7 and 3, SAP 1 loads 7, adds 3, and outputs the final answer, which is equivalent to 10. So this example clearly demonstrates how computers follow instructions step by step, just like solving a math problem. So in understanding SAP 1 programming, it helps us students how to see software controls hardware and how real programming languages evolved from simple machine instructions. So to conclude, today we explored how the CPU works, how it evolved over the generations, what the GPU does and why it is important, and how SAP 1 processes instructions and SAP 1 programs are written. So as we come to the end of this, let's take a moment to review what we've learned, why these topics are important for us students to understand how computer works. So throughout this video, we explored the role of the CPU, or the central processing unit, which acts as the brain of the computer. We learned that the CPU is responsible for processing instructions, performing calculations, and controlling all computer operations, By understanding the fetch, decode, and execute cycle, we saw how the CPU processes information step by step, um, from reading instructions in memory to executing tasks and storing results. This helped us understand that every action we perform on a computer, no matter how small it is, it goes through this cycle. We also studied the evolution of the CPU. It starts from the first generation that used large vacuum tubes all the way to the modern microprocessors found in the laptops, smartphones, and tablets. This journey showed us how technology has improved over time, becoming smaller, faster, more powerful, more energy efficient, and more affordable. Understanding CPU evolution helps us appreciate how far computer technology has advanced and how innovation continues to shape the future. So, in addition, we explored the GPU or graphics processing unit and learned how it differs from the CPU. While the CPU focuses on general processing and decision making, the GPU specializes in handling visual and graphical tasks such as gaming, video editing, animations, and artificial intelligence. So, by comparing the CPU to a single smart worker and the GPU to a team of many workers operating at once, we gained a clearer understanding of how computers manage complex tasks efficiently. We also learned about SAP1, uh, which is a simple educational computer model designed to help us students to understand how computers operate of a fundamental level. SAP1 allowed us to see how instructions are fetched, decoded, executed, and stored in a structured and understandable way. Through SAP1 operations like LDA, add, sub, out, and HLT, we observe how basic computer commands control data and produce results. Furthermore, we explored about the SAP1 programming, which taught us how computers follow instructions step by step. And by analyzing a simple program that adds two numbers, we saw how memory, registers, and instructions work together to solve problems. So this helped us understand how modern programming languages evolved from basic machine instructions. Overall, the examples used in each topic helps us make complex computer concepts easier to understand. This real-world and step-by-step explanation allows us students to connect technical ideas with everyday computer use, strengthening both comprehension and confidence in learning computer engineering concepts. So, to end this, it understanding how CPU, GPU, and SAP1 work gives us valuable insight into how computers think, process information, and perform tasks. So these foundational concepts are essential for us students studying computer engineering or other related courses. We also prepare for more advanced topics in hardware design, programming, artificial intelligence or the AI, and system architecture. So that's the end of the video. Thank you for taking the time to learn through this video. I hope this lesson help you gain a clearer and deeper understanding of how computers function internally. So, keep exploring, keep learning, and stay curious about the advanced technology because the future of computing begins with knowledge today. Thank you for watching.